Now we're going to use set number 3318, Autumn Harvest, to do this third one, keeping with the fall theme. So we're going to use the yellow, orange, our red, and our green sets from Color Fuse. And I'm going to blend again, but much softer. This is the mango. This is the lightest of the colors. So we're just going to softly blend this, gentle, not in a rush, not trying to put on too much color at a time. And then we'll use the same technique we used on the first card. We'll use a bit of watercolor from the color burst line to splatter some dots out on it. Both this card and the first card were designed by Pretty Chandra, and I may have modified them a little bit, but the basic design idea was hers. And the second card, the basic design idea came from Lisa Bisbiak, and I just changed it with the background to make it a little bit more geometric. So I give a shout out to the girls on our team, because that's really where the inspiration for the card comes from. You can see we didn't put quite as much on that one as we did the first one, but some of the dots look like they expanded a little bit more as they hit the paper, but it looks nice, and it'll give us what we want. We'll clean up here a little bit. I'll let you see the stamp set again. 33 is 18. We've got 17 stamps in this set, and there's the layering guide that comes in all the sets to help you line them up. I didn't find this set very difficult at all to line up. It's almost visual, but it is always nice to have that guide so you can see what's going on. And to make the fall sets, we're going to use all of the oranges and then a crimson. And then the nectar and the scarlet, not the crimson. And so I've taken the original piece that we had, and I've laid in our the twigs portion of the stamps so I could begin the composition and use that as a guide. And so now we'll layer on the leaf portion. See if I can put these on more than one at a time so this can be a little quicker. So I've stamped this one 4 times so that we get a lot of richness in the color. And then others I won't stamp as much. So I wanted a lot of variation in this. It just was a difference from the way that Preeti had done it. Nothing wrong with the way she had done it. I just thought I would like a little bit more variation in the color schemes. Color Fuse gives you a great opportunity to stamp less or more with the same color, as you'll see in a second, and to get different shades that are not there to begin with. And here I added just a touch of the scarlet color of red to the outside edges of this one, just to tinge it just a little bit, just to make a difference. Now for the base of the third one, or the fifth stamp, we won't do very much on the base at all. I'd like this one to be really soft shaded. And we'll leave it there. And here I'm just going to use one of the stamps without a twig just to fill in some background. And this will be with the lightest shade. And then over here, and finally right in the middle, we're going to use the lightest of the red shades. It just gives it a little background. So now we'll go to the second stamp on our largest stamp. And we're going to use the apricot, so a little bolder of an orange here. And you can see you can see when they line up, so it's pretty easy just to lay them down and move them around until the lines on the stamp disappear. They will literally disappear when they get lined up correctly, um, if they're large enough to see. Sometimes I have a little trouble with that, um, and I need a pair of reading glasses so I get a good detail, but that comes from being old. Nothing um, wrong with the stamps, just being a little older. So we put some pumpkin on the one on the right, and now we put a little bit of red on the one on the left, and got a great contrast out of that. And um, Color Fuse is new, and we're finding out about it. Um, it's always a stamp set that or an ink pad set I wanted to have, but it took us a while before we could find the company to make it here in the States. I refused to go to China, but we finally found the company that would do it for us in the States, and so now we're happy with that. So let's trim this up now and get ready for the last piece. We've adhered it to our card back, and we're going to stamp on a sentiment. It's always nervous time for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's nervous time for me when I do this, hoping that I've got it square. After you've done all that, I much prefer to put these onto a separate piece of paper and pop it up, but this time I chose just to stamp it right onto it. VersaFine Clair Nocturne is a beautiful black. It's a pigment pad, but it's not thick as a normal pigment pad, and yet it has a long open time to emboss. So that's this card. Number 3318 was the set we used, and it's a very cute little fall card.